After hard-fought wins in Lexington and Los Angeles, Gonzaga's stretch run continues at home in Spokane, where the Zags cannot afford a letdown. It's Gonzaga and Pacific in Saturday night action in the West Coast Conference. How you doing, everybody? Along with Richard Fox and Dan Dicko, I'm Tom Glasgow. Great to have you with us for this matchup. And Richard, the Zags with 5 regular season games left. Are they playing at the level they need to be at right now?
No, I don't think they are, but what I do think you could say is that they're really trending in the right direction. That change with Ben Gregg in the starting lineup, I think, has made all the difference.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. Ben Gregg moving to the starting lineup, he's provided energy and production, but it's balanced out the rotations. It's been a great decision by Coach Few.
All right, Anton Watson, of course, the glue to this Gonzaga team. He does it all at both ends of the court. He's seeking his 9th double-double this season.
Well, look, it's as if Anton Watson just kind of gets a feel for a game and understands what it is this team needs from him. Down at LMU, a double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds. More importantly, it's everything else he does. 2 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals. He just fills the stat sheet up in a variety of ways. But quite frankly, for Gonzaga, this is the strength of what they do. Up front, these 3 in league play are averaging 42 points a game, 21 rebounds. Graham Ike just 24 minutes a game, averaging 16 a game. He's got 20 points in 6 of the last 9 games. And Ben Gregg, now in the starting lineup, does a little bit of everything on both ends of the floor.
And Dan, this Pacific team comes in 0-12 in conference play. It has been a rough season, but at the point, they have some hope in Mo Odom.
Yeah, Mo Odom has been really well in WCC play. In particular, the game against Gonzaga down in Stockton. He was tremendous in that first half. Gave Nolan Hickman and Ryan Nembhard all types of fits before nailing a jump shot at the buzzer to give Pacific the lead. If they're going to give Gonzaga problems, he's going to have to play well tonight.
And the Tigers will look for early momentum in the kennel. The Zags, well, they look to put the hammer down on the Tigers. Stick around, the opening tip is just ahead. Gorgeous look at Spokane, Washington. Chilly outside, no problem for us. We are inside at the McCarthy Athletic Center for a matchup between Gonzaga and Pacific. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. Money answers for people who know Gonzaga does, in fact, exist. Plus, show your Bulldog pride with your Zags debit card, offered only at Numerica, federally insured by NCUA. Williams, Odom, Hallams, Denson, and the leading scorer, Judson Martindale for the Tigers, and the usual suspects for the Zags, Nembhard, Hickman, Ike, Watson, and Ben Gregg. Pacific's head coach is Leonard Perry, his 3rd season leading Pacific. It's been a challenge with just 6 victories, none in conference play. Of course, Mark Few in his 25th season leading the Gonzaga program, seeking his latest 20-win season tonight in a game he expects to be hard-fought. Tonight's keys to the game brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. And Richard, let's talk about the keys tonight for Gonzaga.
Yeah, look, one of the rare nights this season where Gonzaga came out a bit slow was down at Pacific. That they want to have a good start here tonight, and it's get in those freshman reps, those 3 freshmen off the bench effectively round out the rotation. Those freshmen are going to end up taking Gonzaga as far as they can possibly go.
For Pacific, they've got to take care of the basketball. I talked to Coach Leonard Perry yesterday. He said they have to do that so they don't allow Gonzaga to get out in transition. The other thing is rebound. In league, their opponents plus 15 on the glass.
Certainly a key tonight. 24th meeting between these clubs, and Gonzaga has won 22 of the previous 23. The officials tonight, Michael Irving, James Shipper, and Wasey Lime, and we are underway at the kennel. Pacific losing at Santa Clara on Thursday, 79-53. This Gonzaga with just 4 conference games after tonight. Second to last home game of the season for the Zags, and Graham Ike, he may feast in that paint tonight.
Well, Pacific just doesn't have any real size inside, particularly in the starting lineup. Dennison just doesn't have the strength or length to really cause Ike any kind of real problem.
Oh, no double on the first possession of the game. A lot of times teams will double early just to see how he handles the double team. Pacific choosing single coverage.
Donovan Williams defended well by Ben Gregg. Zags quickly into front court. Nembhard wide open for the triple, and an early 5-0 Zags lead.
That's the quick start that Richard had as a key to the game.
And that ball is off Williams and an early turnover.
Well, here just kind of a delayed transition, look and transition for Nembhard. Nembhard shooting 51% from 3 in conference play. You remember in non-conference really struggled from behind the arc, shot 15%. So he has figured things out from the three-point line.
Well, I think a lot of it too is he's not pressing. At times early in the season it looked like he was searching for his shot as Ike, the easy cleanup and putback. He seems at ease, does Nembhard, picking and choosing when to score as well as when to facilitate.
Leonard Perry expected the Zags to come out hard in this one, said his club needs to weather the storm. That will help the lay-in by Williams. UK inside, getting double teamed by Mo Odom. Big catch by Ben Gregg right there. Hickman for 3. Gonzaga 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. And an 8-point lead.
Yeah, Hickman 41% in conference play from 3. So your starting backcourt go 41, 51% from the three-point line. That makes your life a lot easier on that end of the floor, particularly late in possessions.
Had 4 made threes in the win on Thursday. Had LMU on his way to 22 points. Cam Denson lost the ball on the way up. It'll be Tigers ball.
And, early in the year, conversation with this group was, this looked like a team defensively that could become elite. And you see in here to start this game, just the active hands and really making things difficult for Pacific.
Tyler Beard with the ball is just checked in. Goes to work on the baseline on Ike. Kicks it out to Odom and rejected. There's some of that defense Richard referred to, and no surprise who it was delivered by Anton Watson.
You're absolutely right, Tom. There's a great defensive play to be made. Anton Watson's likely the one to be making it. But, Ike holds up well on the dribble penetration, doesn't force his teammates to have to help him. Watson, good rotation on the backside.
Nembhard looking for a second 3. Gregg comes up with a loose ball. Nice seal off that time by Ike, opening the lane for Nembhard.
Exactly right on the seal from Ike, allowing Nembhard an easy turn the corner layup. Early timeout from Leonard Perry. Get another look at that seal from Ike. Nembhard waltzes in for the left-hand layup.
I always felt as a big, there should be some stat to capture that, all right?
I'll give you like a half an assist.
I'm just saying.
You were great at those.
I'm very good at getting in the way.
Give yourself some credit, Richard. Come on.
Well, the Zags certainly love their start. The key to this season, though, guys, will be the finish, right?
Yeah.
Look at their tournament resume.
Plenty of opportunities. Gonzaga, like they normally do, schedules up. And then on conference, this team, just for whatever reason, unable to really capitalize. A bad loss at UW, unable to finish the game, finish with a win against San Diego State. But look, everything they want to do is still ahead of them.
Yeah.
Take care of the games you're supposed to take care of. If you can find a way to win on the road, back-to-back, to finish up the regular season here in league play, now you've got 3 quad 1 wins. Hopefully, those 2 quad 2 wins. I think there may be a lot less pressure going into Vegas than there would be if they had to go play that tournament today.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And when you look at the analytics, which is so important to the selection committee, the net being the most important, they're sitting at 23 in the net. If they're at 23 in the net 3.5, 4 weeks from now, they're in the tournament, whether they win the tournament title in Vegas or not. A season ago, team at 40, being Rutgers and 43 were the biggest snubs. Everybody else in the 30s made the tournament.
Denson coming up short. Nembhard on the push. See if Ike can take Advantage of the size. Martindale showing a soft double team. Not enough to stop Graham Ike, who scores again.
Soft double team and soft touch from Ike. You know, Martindale kind of showing double. Ike just turns away from it. That's a great looking jump shot.
Greg Outlaw, who's checked in with the offensive board. Got his first action on Thursday after missing 4 games due to injury. Way off balance, but holy smokes, got it to go. Second bucket in this game, and quickly in transition, Watson fouled. He'll head to the line.
If you're not going to double team Graham Ike, you give him the benefit of the doubt. He can pick and choose when he wants to go and where he wants to go. He's going to make you pay. Zags rolling early.
Pacific 14-4. Let's take a look at tonight's fan trivia question, brought to you by Arby's, your delicious neighborhood meat crafter. Stop by Arby's today. Arby's, we have the meats. All right, here's your question. How many points did Drew Timme score on January 21st, 2023 at Pacific? Richard and I actually worked that
We
game.
know that, yeah.
Be sure and text your answer to 83200. And there are your options.
Just
35, 38,
Just another
40.
Stockton trip Dickow just somehow couldn't fit into his calendar. I don't know.
I've got good reason this year. It was my son's birthday, so
All right.
that's, I think,
That just
legit excuse.
That just barely qualifies, but
Okay.
we'll give it to you.
Well, you missed a lot of fun in Stockton. Anton Watson hitting the first free throw attempt in this game for Gonzaga.
So, Richard, can you text me privately the answer so I can send my request in? Maybe I can win that?
You got to pay your dues flying down to Stockton to get the answer, buddy.
Gotcha. Gonzaga there, 3-quarter court pressure. Anton Watson's so good at the top of that press.
And nearly another turnover there for Pacific now already with 3. The Tigers just having a very difficult time getting into anything meaningful offensively.
Gonzaga with 7 points off of Pacific turnovers early in this one.
Well, you mentioned it in that first stretch, Richard, that, you know, this team had a chance to be really elite defensively in your eyes from the start of the season. I agree. The only thing that they're really missing is a rim protector, but they can play multiple defensive packages. They can switch. They can trap. They got a lot of high IQ guys, so you can change coverages easily.
That was Martindale with the air ball. Tigers maintain possession. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Bert Smith, number 11, is checked in for the Tigers. Nick Blake as well. And they'll try again.
Gonzaga switched everything on that last inbound. See if they do it again.
Outlaw gets it. Tough shot.
Outlaw just only 2 minutes down in Stockton, but coming off the bench and immediately having an impact.
4 points for Outlaw. Dusty Stromer is checked in for the Zags. Missing on that 3 ball.
What a pass, though, from Anton Watson. You touched on it in the open, Richard, his versatility.
And nearly coming up with the steal, but commits the foul on the drive by Beard.
Well, this is a tough finish here. Outlaw pops out. Good contest. Maybe just a touch late in Zeke, but still tough jump shot there from Outlaw.
Outlaw goes up strong, guarded by Stromer. And Hard trying to find Ike. Beard will set the offense out of the double team, finds Outlaw inside. Smith has some size. A strong Ike with a rebound. Ahead to Watson. Nicely done, nice find.
And it's the pass.
Yeah.
Just perfect placement over the top. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything there, but those are the types of reads and plays Nembhard can make when he has the ball.
And he's gotten better at it throughout the course of the year as far as discerning who he's throwing that to. He can throw that to Ben Gregg, but not to Graham Ike in transition for the catch and finish.
Beard contested. Excellent defense by Watson. With a shot better by number 3, Tyler Beard.
The Pacific, one of those rare teams. They play 11 guys 10 minutes or more, but not a single player averages in double figures. On the flip side for Gonzaga, 5 players, including Anton Watson, with that great finish there, average in double figures.
Leonard Perry telling me this morning they have not really been able to replace 30 points they lost off of last year's team. 2 via NIL, see you guys, and then 1 was a player that simply ran out of eligibility. So that's been one of the issues for a team that averages just under 65 per game.
Yeah, the big loss in my eyes for Pacific is Keelan Boone, transferred to UNLV, and as you mentioned, the NIL, a big part of the reason why he left. But, you know, talking to Leonard Perry yesterday as well, as Huff knocks down the 3. You know, he got this job in tough circumstances a couple of years ago when Damon Stoudemire went back to the NBA. He got the job in July, didn't have the chance to recruit his own players, and now he's just now starting to get players that fit his eye, what he wants to do. And as that happening, now he has to try to build NIL, and Pacific has been a little bit behind in getting things going in that front.
Braden Huff hitting that 3, the likely freshman of the year in the West Coast Conference. 4-time freshman player of the week, including last week, averaging 10.5 points per game. He has been outstanding. So he came up big in the Rupp Arena, yep.
Well, and you felt the game like the Kentucky one was going to come for Braden.
Yeah.
You know, he had struggled against higher level competition, but just gave Kentucky all he could handle as Martindale kind of gets behind the defense there for an easy 2, and Pacific here starting at least to get a rhythm offensively.
What a move.
Nembhard, nicely done.
Yeah, Nembhard's got the option there, hand off to Stromer or keep it, puts you in a tough spot. You switch that defensively, stay home.
Well, just because you're the top assist guy in the conference, you have to give it away all the time.
You got to keep him honest. You still have to stay a threat to score the ball.
Averaging just over 12 per game. Ryan Nembhard.
And I think as the seasons wore on, he's gotten better at picking and choosing when to score, when to facilitate for others. He's got even more of a reason to play well tonight. Older brother Andrew, former Zag, current Indiana Pacer, spending his all-star break in Spokane, watching his little brother play.
Watson coming up short. Beard will set the offense. Inside Denson. Size advantage, but he gave it up. And Stromer will draw the foul on the drive by Donovan Williams. There's Andrew. Big brother looking on tonight. Member of the Indiana Pacers.
I think he's going to have a long NBA career. And when I say long, we're talking 10, 12 years. Good size for a point guard. Very skilled, high IQ. He's battled injuries a little bit this year, but he's still averaging around 9 points, almost 5 assists a game.
Good job defensively on the inbounds by the Zags. So that forces Mo Odom into a timeout with his club down 12. Well, time for the answer to tonight's fan trivia question, brought to you by Arby's. Drew Timme scored 38 points to lead the Zags to a 99-90 victory over the Tigers last January down in Stockton. He was off the charts unstoppable in the second half of that one.
Yeah, could have had 45, maybe even more if he knocked out some free throws. But you know, we talked about Andrew Nembhard earlier. If you're going to start a list of impactful transfers in Gonzaga's history, you know, I think I'd probably say Nigel Williams-Goss first, and it might be Andrew Nembhard next. That's how good he was over his 2 years here. Both his first year as a junior, you know, playing off the ball more with Jalen Suggs in the mix, but then his senior year, just one of the best pick and roll point guards you've seen in college basketball. A great leader, and really led that team to a great season.
I concur. I mean, tremendous leader, a point guard that's unbelievably skilled, put the team above self. And, you know, that two-headed dynamic monster of a point guard, Nembhard and Suggs, when they went to the Final Four and unfortunately lost to Baylor in championship game, that was a heck of a duo in the backcourt. And he was initially set to redshirt before the NCAA deemed him eligible, right?
Yep.
Before the first game of the season.
Williams fouled. He'll head to the line. In that video we were watching, we also, of course, saw Chet Holmgren. Great to see him playing last night in the Rising Stars game as part of the NBA's All-Star Weekend festivities in Indianapolis this year.
I've got a feeling Chet is going to be a part of All-Star Weekend for quite some time.
And not on the Rising Stars game.
Exactly. I think he's going to be in the big game in the next year or two. He's fighting for Rookie of the Year honors with Victor Wembanyama. Obviously,
how fun is it that
pulling for him?
How fun is it that both those guys are in the Western Conference and will play hopefully against each other for well over a decade? We haven't seen that kind of rivalry inside in the game in a long time.
Yeah, it should be really cool. It's a great
point. The beautiful thing is they both play the game the right way to impact winning. It's not about numbers for them, it's about winning. And I think that's going to, you know, make it an even better rivalry over time.
Stromer, nice fake inside, fouled. He'll shoot two.
Well, good cut down the backside. Stromer's in the corner. Could have stayed home and looked for the kick out, but reads the defense, cuts along that baseline, gets himself to the free throw line. And, you know, for me, this team, the starting five for Gonzaga is as good as anybody's in the country. I mean, you'd have to really think about who might have a better five. It's the depth, right? And, you know, look, there are plenty of teams. Kansas comes to mind. They don't have a lot of depth. You can win a lot of games, but as you get further into a tournament, you need your bench to do something for you. And for Gonzaga, that's got to be a freshman. They play three: Luka, Huff, and Stromer. Yeah. The next 5 games, the next four weeks or so are going to be critical. Those guys need to get more confidence, get more comfortable, because Gonzaga at some point is going to need them to be big in a big moment.
That's a great point. Blake inside. Used his strength to put it in over Hickman.
That was a big boy bucket right there. That was like on the playground. Richard Fox taking his shoulder against me, getting all the way to the rim. That's what that looked like.
Nice find inside. Stromer to Ben Gregg for the easy deuce.
And that's the type of play you need to make coming off the bench. It's, you know, everyone gets so wrapped up, Dan, on how much a guy's scoring. It's really about the other things. As Huff comes over, that's a good play from Huff. Gets called for the foul, but that's a play he needs to make. You're playing 10 to 15 minutes a game, in the Sweet 16. You've got to try to go make that play.
You know, Pacific, nice job executing that play as Blake found Mo Odom as he back cut. Nembhard lost him, so Odom to the line. He'll shoot 2, averaging just under 9 per game. Second in the conference in assists, 4.8 per contest.
And they really like him.
Yeah.
Leonard Perry said he's got a lot of the tools that all good point guards have. He's slithery with the basketball. He can get to different places on the floor. He's a good enough shooter now, but he's got the opportunity to maybe be a great shooter at this level, depending on how much effort he puts into it. But he's also got a great awareness and vision and the ability to make passes and plays for others.
He was the reason why, the big reason why anyway, in the first matchup down in Stockton. The Tigers went to the locker room with a 1-point lead, 12.6 assists in that game. Did most of his damage in the first half, so Gonzaga did a terrific job in the second half, neutralizing him, but it's really a fun matchup, he and Nembhard, when they go head-to-head.
Yeah, look, both pass-first point guards, undersized, but play bigger than their stature. Odom with more with length. Nembhard is just a strong-bodied point guard. A bright future for Odom. He just has to develop that jump shot a bit more.
Pacific now in a 3-2 zone. It's the first time we've seen that look tonight.
Hickman for 3.
Well,
his second triple.
Typically, you're in a 3-2 zone. You're not going to give up threes up top or on the wing.
Down in Stockton, Pacific went to that in the second half in particular and really played off. I mean, the toes on the three-point line versus stepping beyond it, really wanted to give Gonzaga the three-point shot versus the inside play.
Jaylen Brown, number 2, has checked in for the Tigers. He launches the deep 3. Stromer with the board. Nemhard leading Gonzaga with 7 points until that shot. 9 points now, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc for Nolan Hickman.
He's been playing really well as of late. Played well at Kentucky, but really the 2 LMU games, he's been spectacular. 24 at home, 22 on the road.
Blake counters with 3 of his own. Zags lead cut to 12. So Nolan Hickman picking up where he left off with the 4 threes at Loyola Marymount. Good save by Denson.
Good effort there. Just getting around EK's post up.
Denson secures the ball, thought about the 3, drove in, and to stop better the whole thing. Williams inside, using the strength on Stromer, but cannot finish.
Yeah, Stromer, good job holding up without fouling there. Williams is tough to keep away from the rim.
Hickman, heat check. Rebound by Blake.
Heat check is right, but I like that shot.
Yeah.
You hit back-to-back threes. You show the confidence and the willingness to search out shots. He has really shot it well in WCC play.
At 19 points and 4 assists, a Pacific did Nolan Hickman. Denson on the drive. Nemhard on the push. Lays it in. He has 8 points. Check it, 9 points for Ryan.
Gonzaga's backcourt and Nemhard and Hickman combined 18 points. 7 of 10 from the field. I'd say that's a great start.
Blake showing range. He gets another 3.
Yeah, Blake 34% from behind the arc. He's got that in his bag. Really more of a slasher driver, but has stepped up with a ton of confidence here from the 3-point line tonight.
Oh, nice find.
Wow.
Ike to Ben Gregg. Put that on your highlight reel.
Absolutely. But credit Ben Gregg. Yes, he gets the 2 points. He missed the initial 3, but the extra effort on the glass popped it loose where Ike dove on it.
Blake, he has 10 points in 9 minutes of playing time.
Starting to cook, and this is what Pacific can get. They can get hot with this smaller lineup. Dennison, Blake, Williams. They could take you off the bounce, so it could give Gonzaga trouble, given Gonzaga's size, forcing Ike to guard on the perimeter a lot more than you might otherwise.
Ram Ike.
And that's the trade-off.
Yes.
8 points. Zags up 13.
He is so strong as Ike when he gets you on the back down with the big defender on his hip. And then he gets you with that, not necessarily a chicken wing where it gets called as a foul, but where it's kind of in that questionable realm.
That was the first miss for Nick Blake. Ike, great position. He'll head to the line. Nice find by Nemhard, threading the needle to get him the ball. Gonzaga coverage of the game is brought to you by Primera. Primera, proud partner of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And nicely done by Ryan Nemhard. The Zags in control here in the first half.
Just more top-end talent. But you know what I think, Tom, what strikes you is just how similarly they play. Andrew with more size, but they both really control the ball. Excellent in the pick and roll. Know when and where to push it. You know, something that young players are always thinking about, going north-south. Both the Nemhards have a real innate ability of kind of cutting across the floor, creating angles for their teammates. Just really, really good feels for the game. And when your point guard can't get sped up, you don't often get sped up as a team. It's a cheat code. You're playing against dynamic teams defensively, teams that want to press you, speed you up. What they're trying to do is force you to turnovers. When you have guys like the Nemhards, it's really difficult to do that against your team.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I see is both control the pace of the game, but in different ways. Ryan pushes it with his speed, gets the ball down the floor as quickly as possible. I think Andrew would control the pace of the game a lot of times by the throw-ahead pass that a lot of great point guards would utilize. And then with his size, he was able to also see over the top of defenses in pick and rolls, as well as also controlling the defender on his hip.
That shot at long 3 attempts. That was missed by Jalen Brown. By the way, with that last free throw by Graham Ike, Nembhard, Hickman, all leading Gonzaga with 9 points. Let me retract that statement. Ike, Kersag into double figures now. He has 11.
Well, nice play there from Luka. Just a controlled drive. To start the year, the game, when he was on the floor, it felt like the game was going a million miles an hour for him. You can see he's more comfortable with the speed at this level. That's a nice, simple play over the top to Ike.
Yeah, since he's come back, I would agree with you, Richard. I think he definitely seems more under control. He's not as frantic with the ball. He's got a high skill level. He's got good size. Sometimes as a young player, you're frantic to make a play that impacts the game. Now he's kind of letting things come to himself and make the appropriate play that's in front of him.
Greg with the defense on Smith, and Odom couldn't control that pass from Burke Smith. Gonzaga shooting over 70% and up 16. They have their largest lead in the game. Krajinovic finds a wide open Hickman. Greg with the offensive board. Hey.
That would have been a heck of a
I love the attempt. I love the attempt. I'm not sure Coach Few liked the attempt, but I like the attempt.
Trying to return the favor earlier in the game. Ike on the ground finds Greg, and here, that is.
That would have been the play of the year.
That takes some courage. I think part of he's trying to save the ball, maybe, but what a play that would have been. But again, Ben Gregg just coming in from the weak side and creating a second chance opportunity for Gonzaga.
Yeah, Ike again, easy pickings in the paint.
As strong as he is, he's got such touch.
Yeah.
He's patient too with his back down. He just waits, gets you in the spot that he wants, reads if the doubles come in or if it's just a dig down, times the dig down. Burke Smith had no chance on the low block guarding him there.
Martindale had the ball stripped and it went off of him, so it's Gonzaga ball. Seventh turnover against Pacific.
Well, that's an incredible rotation from Ike. He's on the other side of the floor, but knows he's guarding a non-shooter. So he catches up to the play, ends up causing the turnover. That's an incredible rotation from your center.
Hickman, nice defensive play that time by Mo Odom. He pushes it into front court. Zags do a nice job getting back defensively.
Odom just 6'1", but he's got long arms, plays a lot longer than he's listed.
Started by Ike. Blake wide open. Nick Blake. Well, he has been outstanding off the bench for the Tigers. He's up to a game high, game equaling high, 13 points with Ike. Krajinovic driving, contact, and an offensive foul on the drive.
I like the attack of the closeout there, but that's kind of that middle game where you either jump stop or it's one dribble pull-up. The analytics, have kind of shunned a lot of the one dribble pull-up game, but I'm still a believer. A 17-footer from a good shooter is a great shot.
Well, I don't know anything about analytics, but I know that the analytics are going to tell you the offensive foul is worse
probably
than
true.
The floater.
Odom defended well by Greg.
So you just harken back to Coach Jerry Krause. Quick stop.
Yep.
Quick stop.
Yep.
Donovan Williams back in the game for the Tigers. Hands it off to Martindale. Goes up. And Krajinovic will draw the foul. Gonzaga with a nice lead early on. Gonzaga up 15 over Pacific, 3:34 left in the opening half. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings in the West Coast Conference. St. Mary's unbeaten in WCC play. Not playing on this Saturday. They'll return to action against San Francisco on Tuesday. Of course, the Zags have a matchup against the Dons at the Chase Center down in the Bay Area, home of the Golden State Warriors. Santa Clara in 4th place in the conference. So the resume, guys, for St. Mary's, Dan, it's an impressive one.
Yeah, I think it's extremely impressive, and that's with 2 really bad losses on their resume as well, at home to Missouri State as well as Weber State. If it weren't for those, they would probably be top 10 in the net. As it stands, they're ranked 18th in the AP as well. Gonzaga's got its work cut out for them if they're going to challenge for the league title. They need some help. A big one next Tuesday, San Francisco at St. Mary's. I know Gonzaga's going to be watching that one closely.
Judson Martindale at the line. He's the leading scorer for this Pacific club, 9.7 per game. Shoots just over 72% at the stripe. Senior who started his college career at Holy Cross. Had 8 points against the Zags in the first game down in Stockton 3 weeks ago. Starting 5. Back together again for the Bulldogs. Whoa, would have been a heck of a catch by Nembhard. Couldn't haul it in. Sixth turnover. 3rd straight turnover overall for the Zags. Looking to finish this half strong, up by 13. Of course, for Pacific, if they can get the deficit into single digits, they can feel pretty good about things here in the first half, considering it all. Martindale. Rebound Nembhard.
Greg has really held up well, guarding on the perimeter. I think that's part of the reservation with going with 3 bigs, even though Watson's super dynamic, is how you're going to hold up when a guy like Greg or EK gets stuck on a perimeter player. I think Ben Gregg has done a tremendous job on balance this year of keeping smaller players in front and not really forcing Gonzaga's defense to break down.
Nembhard for 3, rebound Denson. 2:30 left in the half. Odom. Nice find, yeah, because EK did a great job coming over to help out on him on the drive, but Mo a little bit better that time as he got the assist.
New York City point guard has the creativity with the handles, the vision to be able to find teammates.
Nembhard, nicely done.
Think about how many buckets EK, Watson, Greg, Huff get just by simply playing with him. I mean, all you got to do there is catch it from the foot from the rim and just lay it up. He makes your life so easy as a post player.
EK 15 points, 7 for 7 shooting.
You don't miss a lot when you're that close.
That's true. Martindale into traffic. Nice job by Williams to go up strong, but again could not finish, but they're cleaning up the mess. Judson Martindale. Martindale with 4. Thought about it. Thought about it.
yeah, exactly.
Hasn't missed a shot yet. Why chuck one up from beyond the arc?
Look at that. I mean, Nembhard just aware enough just to flick it. Not try to secure possession, just flick it over to Watson for the easy deuce.
Coming off a double-double is Nembhard down at LMU. He's on pace for another tonight. 9 points, 6 assists with only 1 turnover here in the first. He's completely controlled this point guard matchup with Mo Odom.
Had 16 points and 11 assists against the Lions. Blake has really been outstanding. Lost control there and lost the ball. Greg with it. And the Zags can play for the last shot. Up by 13.
Pacific has a foul to use if they want to give it. Five
5 seconds. Nembhard short. And that'll do it. Well, Mark Few takes his team to the locker room at halftime. And considering everything, has to be pretty pleased with the start his guys had. The lead they take into the break, up by 13 at 47-34. Stick around, much more coming your way. Plenty of halftime coverage. Nolan Hickman, a big first half from beyond the arc. Nick Blake keeping Pacific in it, but so far, too much. Gonzaga at the kennel. A good look at downtown Spokane on this Saturday night. Lots going on in town this evening. The Spokane Chiefs hockey team in action. Kind of out of town, but earlier today, Eastern Washington playing host to Weber State. But our focus on the McCarthy Athletic Center and Gonzaga taking on Pacific West Coast Conference play. Richard Fox, Dan Dickow, Tom Glasgow with you. Dan, let's start with you. Overall impressions of the first half.
Well, Gonzaga shot 68% from the field. It doesn't matter what you do defensively. I think they can clean some things up, in particular against Nick Blake. But when you shoot 68% from the field, things are going pretty well.
Yeah, 10 assists on 19 made field goals. That's pretty indicative of kind of what they had going on offensively, despite turning it over a bit more than you'd like down the stretch.
All right, let's go big guy on big guy, Richard.
Yeah.
Graham Ike, outstanding in the first half, perfect from the floor.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can find the right way to describe the impact he's had on Gonzaga this year, and certainly tonight. 7 points with 20-plus or more in league play. He's got another game with 19 points in conference play. Think about this. He's only played 24 minutes a game in league, averaging 16 and 6. He's got 3 games in league play where he's in single digits, either because they've been up or foul trouble. So when he's been healthy, when he's on the floor, he's about as impactful, as dominant as any player in this conference.
And yet, Dan, it hasn't been a one-man show for Gonzaga. Big contributions from Nembhard, Hickman, and others.
Yeah, I thought the backcourt in Nembhard and Hickman would have been tremendous. They've done it in different ways. Hickman knocking it down from beyond the three-point line, but Nembhard, 9 points, 6 assists, has really controlled the pace of the game.
And getting it done with the pressure of his brother on here. And in the house, Andrew Nembhard, former Gonzaga Bulldog, checking out his brother here tonight. And so far, so good for Gonzaga. I don't know what we have. Karate, judo, all I know is this. Nothing I ever partook in. After a rough go of it beyond the arc in non-conference play.
Yeah, they quite frankly struggled from beyond the arc in many games in non-conference. They've been much better in WCC play, and I think a lot of the reason is guys are getting more comfortable, but they're understanding where their shots are going to come from, whether it's swing, catch and shoot threes, pick and roll reads where the defender goes under, or pick and pop threes for bigs like Braden Huff and or Ben Gregg. I think they did a nice job of mixing in different looks from beyond the arc in that first half.
Here are the first half stats brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino, and you see that exceptional shooting percentage for Gonzaga, 68%, 45% from beyond the arc. Well, frankly, Pacific doing a decent job in terms of the rebound, and we pointed out their problems earlier in the broadcast. They really struggle on the boards. Points in the paint, heavily in favor of Gonzaga. But thanks to Nick Blake, the bench points. Nick Blake, the guy that's kind of giving Pacific some hope in this one, Richard.
Yeah, he was dynamic down in Stockton. That's carried over up here to Spokane. And Gonzaga, though, comfortably ahead. Nembhard, another heads-up play. Watson, easy 2 points. We will see you on the other side of the break.
Nick Blake just having a terrific game off the bench with 13 points. That's just one shy of his career high. Really the biggest reason why Pacific has some hope as they head into the second half here in Spokane. Second half right around the corners. Stick around. More WCC action from Spokane just ahead. Welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Second half about to get underway with Gonzaga up 13 on Pacific. And Richard, one of the big reasons why, just another solid all-around game up to this point from Ryan Nembhard.
Yeah, look, it's not complicated. You have really good point guard play. You've got a really good team. And Nembhard has really settled in here, particularly as Gonzaga's gotten into conference play. And you saw everything he can do there in the first half. 9 points, 6 assists. Shot it at a good clip, 4 of 7, but it's just the way he controls not just what he's doing, but makes life easier for everybody else on the floor. And look, pick who you want at the point guard spot in this conference or on the West Coast. He's on the list.
Yeah.
He's that good with the ball, and he's shooting the ball better and better. So he'll have a game where he struggles. Kentucky comes to mind, but he took 2 or 3 really late in the clock, had to force him up. Generally, he's been way more efficient with the ball in conference play. I think that bodes really well, Tom, for March.
9 points, 6 assists, just 1 turnover, so he may be on his way to a back-to-back double-double performance. Donovan Williams trying to no-look to Cam Denson, and that was not close, so
when you're Pacific, coming out of the break at halftime and you have a set play, you have to make the simple play.
Yeah.
Leonard Perry looking off in the distance, thinking to himself, just make the simple one.
a turnover for the Tigers. Zags back with their original starting 5. Hickman had 3 made threes in the first half. And Mo Odom found a lane, and oh my goodness, out of nowhere, Anton Watson with the rejection.
Mo Odom had no idea Anton Watson was timing his steps.
Yeah, I'm not sure anybody did.
Wow.
You think Watson started getting a feel for that before half court? Like,
Yeah.
I might be able to time this. I mean, out of nowhere. Second block of the night, I believe, for Watson. Just quietly putting together a winning performance.
Gonzaga with 4 blocks. None for the Tigers. They are on the smaller side. It's faked by Williams. Beautiful drive, left hand. Well done, Donovan Williams.
Yeah, but if you're Watson there, you got to stay on your feet. Williams 25% from 3 on the year. Give that up and take away the drive.
EK will head to the line.
It's hard. Dennison, that's good defense. He's forcing EK to work, having to come over that right shoulder through a body, but you see both the strength that Watson has, but he initiates so much contact on his post touches. I mean, how often do you see post players try to avoid that contact, spin off of it? He's going to go right into you and force the official to see something.
It's almost like he craves the contact. As a big, don't you want to sense and feel where your defender's at so you can knock him off balance and or spin away
if you
from
want
it?
to know how old I am, here's a story. Rick, when I was in high school, Rick Majerus, I got to know Rick, he told me, if you ever want to be any kind of good, you have to want it, contact. You have to search it out, seek it out, and that really resonated with me, and I think you're absolutely right, Dan. You have to have that in your mind.
Oh, Williams again going hard to the rack and 1. Back-to-back baskets for number 1, Donovan Williams.
If you're Pacific now, take away that first turnover on the first possession of the second half. What you want to see is a couple baskets such as this to keep the crowd at bay. Don't let Gonzaga get off to a big run, and see if maybe you can't keep it 9, 10, 11 points with about 8 minutes left, and see if you can't make a game of it.
Donovan Williams with 9 points. Averages 9.5 per game. Hickman, nice job using the pick. A little hesitation, patience, and then the burst at the end for the finish.
Yeah, he's really improved in pick and roll reads throughout the course of this season. Right there, a tremendous job of patience, reading the secondary defender, and then making both that defender and his pay.
Foul on Anton Watson. Second personal foul. By the way, that last bucket by Hickman takes him into double figures with 11.
Still thinking about your Rick Majerus comment.
Yeah, you know,
He was one of the greatest coaches of all time.
My AU coach and him were tight, so. There's a few other stories that are not appropriate for this podcast.
Denson cut off by EK. Got it out to Hallams. Mo Odom. Shot clock at 2. Rebound by Ben Gregg.
That's the flexibility Ben Gregg brings you. You can switch late clock pick and rolls like that.
Watson.
Well, because Gregg holds up, now Gonzaga really likes to switch. Nearly everything. You couldn't do it to the same level they can do it right now if Ben struggled in those situations where he had a smaller guy he had to keep in front.
Martindale blowing by Gregg that time.
Just as I say it.
Not that I was trying to point it out. An observation.
I know. Were you throwing me or Ben under the bus, or both of us at the same time?
Well, I was just trying to point things out as they occur. It's live television. 17-23, a left play here at the kennel. Zags up by 14. Oh, nice find. Nembhard to Watson for the easy deuce. And Anton Watson in the double figures now. He has 10.
On more than one occasion now, Watson has made spectacular cuts. It's the pace of his cuts, it's the speed, and it's the timing of the cuts as well. Many times you're the recipient, you score, but other times it opens up opportunities for your teammates.
Will be Pacific ball. Zags with a 16-point lead. Largest lead tonight, 18. Ike may have got a finger on that. And pass just a little too long for Graham Ike.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to put Ike in. Ike, a good athlete, but you said in the first half, that's Watson, maybe Gregg. You take the risk, but it's not a high probability of success there. Trying to deliver that rope to Ike when he's sprinting down the floor.
Yeah. Even if he makes the catch, that's going to be tough for him to put the brakes on and do some damage. Mo Odom with the pull-up, nicely done. And the travel by Ben Gregg. As far as turnovers for Gonzaga, that is number 8. Pacific just kind of hanging around. You get to 16, 18 in terms of the lead, and you're at a point where the Zags could blow it wide open, but there's a breakdown defensively, and it was exploited by William Garcia-Adston.
Yeah, off the pass though from Odom. Two guys stay with Odom. Gonzaga doesn't communicate on the weak side, and that's 2 easy points.
Timeout with 15:58 left in the second half. Mo Odom to Garcia-Adston. And the Tigers staying alive in Spokane. Of the Zags, including Anton Watson, who has 10 points in tonight's contest. Dusty Stromer to inbound. Hickman looking inside, trying to find it. Possible to get it into Ike.
You like to see Watson if he pull the trigger there and shoot it. Good flash to the high post.
Odom, nice find.
Second time he's done that here in the last couple possessions. When he puts his head down.
Yeah. Inside Ike to counter the basket by Garcia-Adston.
That's a tough ask for Garcia-Adston, freshman from Sweden. Little light at 210 pounds to guard Graham Ike, but he's put up a nice fight on the offensive end as Garcia-Adston bringing great energy, screen roll opportunities. Get your hands ready because Mo Odom is going to find you.
Just the rotations on the weak side have not been tight here the last few possessions for Gonzaga, and part of that is that dribble penetration from Odom.
The foul to puts Williams at the line, committed by EK, his first.
That sits down. You got a 10-point game here with 15 left, and now Blake's coming back in the game. And Tom, you talked about it there towards the end of the halftime. 13 points for Blake.
Yeah, he had, in terms of the points, 13, and minutes played up to this point, 16. So he's been delivering big time for the Tigers. Career high of 14 points, so he's only one away. EK again, size, strength, all the advantages, and he lays it in.
Pacific elected really not to double down in Stockton. They haven't really done it here. You know, they've shown double, but never really committed to it. That's an impossible matchup inside. You've got to provide some help on those EK post touches, in my opinion.
Well, it's so hard as well because Gonzaga runs continuity ball screen there, gets the defense in movement, so you wouldn't even know where the help would need to come from.
Nembhard, Watson lays it in and one.
And that's where Gonzaga just really hurts you. Williams, good drive, spins off the contact, not able to finish as EK came over to help. And then how quick is Gonzaga converting from the defensive end to the offensive end? You know, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in and around Nembhard. He just hands it off, drops it off to Watson, able to convert it despite the foul.
And for Ryan, his 8 assists to go along with 9 points. By the way, Graham EK remains perfect from the floor, 9 for 9. Helping him get to 21 points.
Just looking at that field goal percentage from the front court. EK 9 of 9. Anton Watson now 5 of 6. Ben Gregg 2 of 3. Richard, you spotlighted the efficiency of the front court in the open. It's been phenomenal tonight.
Williams, well defended, but look at the follow, nicely done by Cam Denson.
And this is a group that Pacific had a lot of success with down in Stockton. They're smaller defensively, but really versatile on the offensive side of the ball. As we see a ticky-tack whistle here, I believe, on Williams. But offensively with this lineup, Pacific can really spread you out. See here, Williams takes the bigger EK off the drive, and then on the weak side, Dennison. Again, Gonzaga on that weak side, whether it be rotations or boxing out, it's not been as dialed in here in the second half.
Leonard Perry disputing something surrounding that call. I'm not sure if it was who the call was against. Third year in charge for Leonard Perry, former head coach of the Idaho Vandals. Good ball movement by the Zags. Corner 3. No good by Nembhard. 2-on-1 break for the Tigers. And Denson with the block. He'll head to the line.
Give credit to Nolan Hickman for stepping in front, trying to take that charge. Curious if he was not outside the restricted circle.
He's still moving, maybe just a touch.
Yeah.
You know,
Not quite there, but good attempt from Nolan Hickman.
Look, I know that's the right play, but you basically play 5 if you're GU. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I know that's the right play. He's going to do that every time. But every time one of their starters hits the floor, it takes a minute to get up. I think everybody in Zag Nation's holding their breath just a bit.
You wouldn't have had to told me that twice. I would have got out of the way. Concede the 2, go to the other end of the floor.
Exactly.
Denson 1 out of 2. And a 12-point Gonzaga lead. So again, they had that little momentum, and you're thinking maybe this is the burst that's going to lead to some significant separation, but the Tigers just hanging around.
It says a lot about this group, in my opinion, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, 0-12 in league, and just how hard they're playing here tonight.
Asked Leonard Perry about that in terms of anybody hanging their heads, spirits up, and he goes, these guys have been great through it all. They've had a number of close calls, so it's been unable to finish some of those tight games.
And when you look at their non-conference, in particular their win at Cal, Pac-12, you know, showed promise, showed hope, but they haven't had the consistency that they would like to have had leading into conference play. And it's one of those things where sometimes when you don't get that confidence early and in the bad way, the wrong way, things can snowball. And that's kind of what it's done for them in WCC play. But yeah, Leonard Perry's a good coach. He's been around the game for a long time, spent some time in the NBA with the Pacers. Head coach at Idaho, like you mentioned, one of the best players in Idaho history as well.
Williams lost it on that spin move. Denson with a size advantage on Stromer, so he uses it, can't finish. Shot clock at 2. That's a tough angle.
A good sequence there from Stromer, though, held up.
Yeah. Nembhard, little push off on Odom, creating some space, and hits the bucket.
Yeah, he's stronger than he looks, is Nembhard.
And into double figures now with 11 points to go along with those 8 assists. Nembhard inside again, using that strength that you talked about, Richard, but couldn't get it down. Odom on the push. Here's Blake, who was red hot in the first half, coming up short. Rebound, Watson.
That's the experience of Watson. Hey, this game is up and down the last few possessions. Let's get in the half court and create some opportunity where we have the advantage.
And Nembhard, fouled by Mo Odom, is get a timeout here at the Kennel. 11:38 left to play, and the Zags up by 14. 6-2. 13-0 in conference play and ranked 17th in the nation. Oh, by the way, they've won 20 straight. How about that, guys? Really impressive.
It is impressive. Lisa Fortier is doing a tremendous job on the women's side. Included in that 20-game win streak is a home win against Stanford, one of the perennial powers in women's college basketball.
On the men's side, St. Mary's on a 13-game win streak. Off today. Tuesday, there'll be one game that'll get a lot of attention from Gonzaga and its fans, and that'll be St. Mary's against San Francisco. We were talking before the broadcast from a Gonzaga perspective. Which team would you prefer to have win that game? I'm not sure we had a resolution.
Well, I agree. I don't think there is a complete resolution. I think if San Francisco wins, it now gives Gonzaga an opportunity, as long as they hold, serve, and take care of business, the chance to tie for a league title on that last weekend of the regular season when they go to Moraga. It also would then solidify the fact that their road game at San Francisco is for certain a quad one opportunity, which, if you're following the net rankings in Gonzaga's season, you know how important those quad one wins are. Gonzaga getting their first of the season at Kentucky last weekend.
Nice help defense there from Braden Huff. Outlaw back in for Pacific. Tyler Beard as well. Blake goes in, and he'll go to the line looking for the three-point play. So he has a career high now at 15 points.
He's just a handful. I mean, he's all of 6'6". And he's put together. And when you're able to knock down those three-point shots in the first half, you've got to defend further out than you might have thought going into the game. And right there, just Stromer does a good job there trying to body him up, keep him in front, but just not quite strong enough to withhold it.
And Nick had a strong game against the Zags in the first matchup down in Stockton with 9 points, 5 rebounds off the bench, averages just over 7 per game. 13-point Bulldog lead. Huff, guarded by Garcia Adston. Nice left hand, boy, sweet touch.
That's such a difficult ask for Garcia Adston. He's having to guard Ike, who's a perfect 9 of 9 from the field. And because he's played so well, Huff hasn't had much of a chance tonight. He comes in, they automatically go to him on the low block.
5 points for Braden tonight. Gonzaga may have a transition advantage here, and they do. Watson inside, nice find by Hickman.
We got a technical foul here on Watson after the play. said something to Martindale to the effect of, "You're not big enough." A little flex here. I think he might have chirped something, and fortunately the official's right there. But
that's a technical foul these days? Holy cow. Wow.
All right.
Interesting.
To the point of how good Ike's been, so Huff doesn't get a lot of time tonight, right? But is making the most of it. Zags front court tonight, 19 of 21 field goal shooting.
Yeah.
So that,
I'd say that's pretty good.
off the charts.
They must have taken a little bit of the mindset of what Rick Majerus taught young Richard Fox all those years ago, and by osmosis have put it into action tonight.
Martindale handled the business at the free throw line. And now the Tigers will inbound in backcourt, down by 16. Martindale guarded by Stromer. Drives and lays it in. Nicely done by Judson Martindale. He's up to 9 points. And Greg getting ready to check back in for the Zags. Huff. Boy. Inside game, outside game, all on display.
Look,
his time tonight.
I don't know a lot, but I do know that Braden Huff, if he's here for 4 years, is going to score a lot of points.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to go on a limb right now. You heard it here first.
Redshirt freshman having an outstanding season. I don't know if anybody makes tougher shots than Greg Outlaw. It's maybe even a tougher one in the first half.
Yeah.
But that strength he has, he's able to get him off, and as we can see on occasion, get him down. Nicely done.
Yeah, his third difficult finish that I can remember this evening.
Nembhard. Huff, the offensive rebound. Put back, no good. Beard with the board. Outlaw cut off defensively. Good D by Nembhard. Garcia Adston wide open. He drains the three.
We like that Outlaw didn't force that drive. Nembhard did a good job cutting him off, but he's taking some tough ones. Thought maybe he'd pull the trigger. Kicks it out to Beard. The extra ball movement leads to the wide open three at the top of the key.
Nembhard for the triple. Ryan Nembhard up to 16 points and 8 assists. 2 assists away from the double-double. Garcia Adston. He's had a nice game. He only averages 1.5 points per contest. He has 7. Nembhard right back.
I mean, that right there is speed.
Just a blur going to the rack as he gets 2 more. And now 18 points on 7 for 13 shooting. 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. Outlaw high arcing shot. The board, the outlet to Huff, and the lay-in.
Oh, what a pass from Ryan Nembhard off the rebound. Huff just had to corral it and finish.
9th assist for Nembhard. Zags with their largest lead at 19. Outlaw, nice spin move, left hand, can't finish. Hickman, a little hesitation and then drove in. Fouled by Beard, so Nolan Hickman will head to the line as we get a timeout. 7:27 left in this one, and the Zags flexing some muscle here in the second half with a big lead.
Use Braden Huff there for a wide receiver playing in the NFL Pro Bowl with his foot speed or his control there, but doesn't matter. He gets the bucket.
You know, Ryan Nembhard not only doing a great job in terms of distributing the ball, but also taking care of the ball. And I'll turn to you, Dan, since you're the backcourt guy here. When you look at this list of great players in program history, Ryan's right there.
A heck of a list of point guards. I mean, Pangos had a cup of coffee in the NBA, but he's become one of the premier point guards in European basketball, as has Nigel Goss, who's on that list. But the Nembhard brothers absolutely proving their worth in regards to taking care of the ball and making plays for teammates.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's mom and dad Nemhard or high school coach, whoever coached up the Nemhard boys knew what they were doing. Both those guys are awfully good.
Zags on a 9-0 run over the last minute of play, a minute plus. A foul on Garcia Adston. And Leonard Perry. He's got family in town for this one. Interesting, he has a son-in-law who's an assistant coach at Weber State. I mentioned earlier that Weber was in Cheney today to take on Eastern Washington. Dan Russell is his son-in-law. Nolan Hickman. He increases his point total now to 16, 4 of 8 from downtown. Also an assistant on that Weber staff, Eric Daniels, son of former Zags assistant Donnie Daniels.
Lots of common friendships, relationships in the basketball world. Eastern Washington, as Garcia Adston continues his great play. Eastern Washington down the road in Cheney, they're having a tremendous season this year. They are the favorite to win the Big Sky title.
And Weber got him today. That was a big win for Weber State.
They've got a big-time NBA prospect as Weber State and Dylan Jones, very versatile. And if Anton Watson continues to make plays like that, he's going to definitely earn at least an invite, I would imagine, to the NBA Combine. Went to the G League Combine a year ago, learned some things to focus in and work on, and come back for a terrific 5th year in Spokane.
17 points on 7 of 8 shooting. Second to last home game of the regular season. So the finale next Saturday, Santa Clara senior night, or should we just call it
Watson's night?
Yeah, Watson night. I like that, Richard.
Well, I think how appropriate is that, though? You know, hometown kid. He has played with countless great players. It really epitomizes, in my opinion, kind of that old school path, which is he came in highly touted, got hurt, kind of derailed his timeline a little bit, and then Gonzaga's recruiting just kept growing and growing and growing. He had to bide his time behind some really good players. Comes back for that 5th year. I'm not sure it could be any better for a 5th-year guy, and the hometown kid gets a night all to himself. That's pretty awesome.
I think so much of it speaks to, the value he places on Gonzaga. He could have gone somewhere else in the NIL market, I'm sure. He was highly valued. Another nice finish, but to stay on Anton Watson topic, is he has done it the right way, and he's impacted winning as much as any Gonzaga player in recent memory has.
Zags, by the way, shooting 70% in this game.
That's good, Dan. That's a good
I think that holds. That's going to be an all-time record.
I'm sure Brock, the great statistician to your right, will confirm. But
let's see. Ranks 4th, Brock? Okay.
See, I told you he was great. He was right on top of it.
He's right on it. Greg missing. And Martindale with the board out to Mo Odom. 24-point Gonzaga lead as they've blown it open. Inside, Donovan Williams finishing, and he'll head to the line looking for a 3-point play. Up with that last basket, he's into double, goes to 12 points now. He'd already hit double figures.
Greg gets caught there, no man's land defensively, not up on the ball enough. Doesn't give Williams enough space. Look, Williams has been great tonight. And he's a handful when he puts his head down and gets to the rim, given his size. But he's not a guy who shoots a high clip from 3. If you're Greg or any of Gonzaga as big as you can hold up, give him some space. But Gonzaga up 21 and comfortably looking at a win here shortly.
For USF, guys, what do you think?
They're a good team. Unfortunately, they scheduled up in the non-conference, and they weren't able to get a couple wins that really would have helped them, in particular Boise State. They played them earlier this year. They had another loss at Arizona State. The quad 1 record is something that you've got to put on your resume. Gonzaga, one of the chinks in the armor, so to speak, by a lot of the analysts was they needed a quad 1 win. Gonzaga went out and got that at Kentucky, so they're feeling better about themselves, but USF still has a lot of work to do, but they've got a chance at Moraga next Tuesday.
Gonzaga with 5 players in double figures, 15th time they've done that this season. And a nice little hesitation floater. Huff inside the offensive putback. And one.
He just makes scoring look easy.
Yeah.
I can't think of another big, Richard, in the last 10, 12 years here. And take Drew Timme out of the equation. He was an all-timer scorer. But he just comes in, and it's like almost a point a minute when you look at his stats on the season.
Yeah, it's not the same. And Kyle Wiltshire was something else. Kyle will go get you 30. And I don't necessarily think it's worth making that direct comparison, but there's something about the way Braden plays. He's much larger, bigger than Kyle was. He's a better athlete. Kyle was far superior from the three-point line, and I think just from the perimeter generally. But can score all over the floor. It's the upside for Braden is tremendous on this side of the floor.
15 points for the redshirt freshman tonight. Watson looking for an outlet, finds Greg, who finds Nembhard. And Huff. Good shot for him. He doesn't mind taking those threes. And Hickman nearly came up with a steal, ran into Ben Gregg. Nice crossover, good recognition, but boy, nice defense by Huff as he gets a block to add that to his impressive stat line. All Zags here in the second half with 3:30 left at the Kennel. Gonzaga in control with 3:30 left. Time to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job is too big or too small. With 8 convenient locations, we rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Not the easiest of calls because so many guys have played well tonight, but we're going to go with Graham Ike. He's been outstanding, guys. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 9 for 9 from the floor.
Yeah, in just under 26 minutes. I mean, this is what he's done all year. Now, I believe the 8th game this season, rather in league play with over 20. And doing that level of production in just 25 minutes or so just shows you the impact, Tom, he has when he's out there on the floor. And can't do a whole lot better with respect to efficiency. 9 of 9.
Nick Blake at the line. Nick's had a terrific night for the Tigers, a career high, 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from downtown, and 2 for 2 at the line. Now 18 points for Blake. Big inside to Huff, had good position on Martindale, and Braden Huff is fouled.
Their bigs are so well schooled, and Richard's talked about this over the years, but they understand when one big is fronted, get to a high-low opportunity, trust that your teammate's going to hold the seal and just throw it over the top.
Earns the second. 16 points off the bench in just 11 minutes of playing time.
I was just going to say, a lot like Ike, it's just the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
The points per minute from both Huff and Ike, and it's such a luxury to have 2 5s effectively that can go score one-on-one on a low block. It's hard to find one, let alone having 2 on the same roster.
And they're both left-handed, which adds an extra dimension of difficulty for your opponent guardman.
Greg with the block. Richard, do you think he's maybe talking about Braden, maybe exceeded some expectations this year? 4-time freshman player of the week, looks like.
Yeah, well, look,
he'll be freshman player of the year.
I mean, you knew there was some pedigree there when he came in. Mr. Illinois, won at that level, but wasn't the highest rated guy. I mean, he's not at the level of Suggs or Holmgren. And then he sits out a year. Yeah. So you kind of forget about him. You really don't know what to expect. So, yeah, I mean, I think in a sense, absolutely. But I think if you ask this staff, they knew he had that ability to score. Even you saw him last year, really comfortable with the ball in his hand.
That was interesting on the sideline. Do not touch the ball. Do not touch the ball.
That is basketball IQ right there.
There you go. All right, Joe Few is checked into the game. Pavle Stosic has also checked in. Junsuk Yo into the game for the Zags. 2:40 left to play, and Gonzaga up 94-70. And Colby Brooks also on the court, number 25 for Gonzaga. 25 guarding 25 is Blake, unable to finish on the drive. Odom with the steal. Blake inside, he'll head to the line. Well, how about the Tigers? I mean, putting pressure on in backcourt. They're going to play it out despite the sizable deficit here, as they're on their way to a 13th consecutive loss, all in conference play.
Look, I can't understate how impressed I've been with the approach for Pacific. It'd be really easy to come in here tonight and struggle the way they did to start this game and just kind of pack it up.
Yeah. And
just get through the evening and move on. I think it says a lot about Coach Perry, his staff, and these kids that despite now being 0-12, now 0-13 as this game wraps up, they keep playing hard. And that's not easy to do. It's easy to play hard when you're winning.
There was a shoot around this morning, and you can sometimes pick up on those things. They were having fun. They were competing in some three-point shooting, laughing, enjoying themselves, serious. But these are guys that just want to get the most out of this season, and obviously don't want to go winless in conference play.
And you want to see them get one.
But that shows you when a team is struggling to get in the win column, if his team has given up on the coach, they won't play as hard as Pacific is playing throughout the course of a tough stretch.
Luka Krajinovic at the line. Zags obviously, at least those on the court, wanting to get this one into triple digits. Gonzaga has scored 100 or more 5 times this season. Of course, one of the top scoring teams in D1. Blake missing, trying to get it back. June has it. Krajinovic. Slow things down. And Blake committing the foul. Pavle Stosic, freshman from Serbia, heads to the line. 1:28 left to play. Not a lot of minutes for these young men, but still minutes. And
yeah, look, and it's hard being at the end of a bench, whether it be as a walk-on, even a scholarship guy, you're not going to play night in, night out. Look, the workload's the same.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, it's harder to be on that end of the spectrum. You're asked to be the scout team. You're learning at least one, if not two, offenses at a high level to try to give the starters, the rotation, some real looks. So it's good to see him get some run.
Odom for 3. Joe Few with a rebound.
Joe Few needs to shoot that pull-up 3 in transition.
Krajinovic cut off. He'll keep trying. And finished off by Stosic. And the Zags hit 100. That's the most points a Gonzaga team has scored against a Pacific team. The previous high, that game we referred to earlier, the 99. Last season down in Stockton, that saw Drew Timme score 38 of those Gonzaga points. Odom to the line. 4 points, 5 assists for the starting point guard for the Tigers. Really got his offensive game going tonight like he did in the first half of the first meeting when he had 12.
And that's the next piece of the puzzle for Odom. He's 5 assists, one turnover. That's awesome. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, but 1 of 7 from the field. Just has to become more efficient shooting the ball, and he's young enough. You expect that to happen, that development to continue to happen.
Garcia-Adston with the foul. And that's going to send Krajinovic to the line.
And Richard touched on the importance of these reps for the young players. I think it's most important for Krajinovic at the line, simply the fact that he missed some time with injury earlier this season.
Well, and what they want to see from him here is not scoring the ball. They want to see him running the offense, not turning it over, making simple decisions, because at the end of the day, if they're playing a big game towards the end of the year and he gets in the game, it's 3 or 4 minutes. Don't hurt us.
Odom with a lay-in. So with this win, Gonzaga will have its 27th season of at least 20 wins. They'll improve to 20-6, 10-2 in conference play, as you see Mark Few and Leonard Perry exchanging congratulations. I really wanted to make that point about the 20-win seasons. I know these guys have had a lot of 30-plus win seasons. It should not be taken for granted what this program has done over an extended period of time, guys. Really impressive.
You're exactly right. The consistency that Mark Few has brought has been amazing, and it doesn't get old winning if you're a Gonzaga Bulldog fan.
In fact, 6 out of the last 7 seasons has seen Coach Few's team win at least 30 games, and an impressive one tonight as they get it done 102-76. And Richard, it was the guys up front that really kind of set the tempo to some degree, nearly flawless offensively, and yet at the same time, Nembhard and Hickman, they played huge roles as well.
Yeah, look, when the four-headed monster inside, E.K. Watson, Greg, and Huff get going, Gonzaga is really hard to deal with. And to your point, Tom, when you throw in Hickman and Nembhard's ability to control the game, and he's been knocking down shots, and then Hickman's been really good for the most part here in 2024, knocking down the three-point shot, not turning it over, playing within himself. So, the pieces are all there. And I think you look at that starting lineup with Greg in there now, that's as good as you're going to get in college basketball. Let's see how these freshmen develop here the next few weeks.
Well, a terrific performance from top to bottom for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Got a bit of a test early into the second half from the Pacific Tigers, but in the end, the Zags did exactly what they wanted to do with a blowout victory. They'll get back on the court at Portland on Thursday. Final score tonight, Gonzaga 102, Pacific 76. For Richard, Dan, and our entire crew, I'm Tom. Have a great night, everybody.